What's up YouTube? This is GalacticGod and I'm coming at you now with a Crystal Beast deck profile. For those of you guys who have been following my channel for quite a while, you will remember that Crystal Beast is probably one of my preferred casual or fun decks to play. I've come up with quite a bit of different builds for it. I haven't actually done one here on my channel in quite some time. I've been toying around with a bunch of the other archetypes that have been released over the last year or so and haven't really used Crystal Beast that much. About a month ago or so, I started picking up the deck once again and kind of seeing how it would work in this format. Now, let me first of all clarify that this is definitely a casual deck. You're not really going to be able to take this to your regional or YCS or anything like that and come out on top. It's definitely going to fall apart to the more super fast-paced meta decks, but in casual games with your friends, or even if you want to take it to a locals or something, I think Crystal Beast is real fun to use. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and jump into my most current build of the deck. Alright, so I'm going to get started with the monster lineup. I am playing, of course, 3 copies of the Sapphire Pegasus. This is your main card of the deck, the card that's going to allow you to tutor and get to all your other big plays. From there, I'm playing 3 copies of the Topaz Tiger. This is really the second best card for Crystal Beast. He's mostly just a beater. You only play him because essentially you have to. You got to have some other Crystal Beast monsters in the deck. Most of them aren't very good. And then we have, 2 copies of Crystal Beast Ruby Carbuncle. That's going to kind of do it for our Crystal Beast monsters in the deck. I know a lot of people think it's kind of crazy to only play such a minimum amount. I've had builds with only 9 and then 10 and 11, and I keep lowering the amount in. I just don't think you need that many. Once you get your recycling action going, all you need are those monsters that are being recycled, and that's really good enough. They're mostly in there for the engine, the Crystal Beast engine, if you will. The way I play the deck is I don't use a Rainbow Dragon. I don't think it's a very effective tool in Crystal Beast. I know I get a lot of flack for that, but it's just the way that I don't really like Rainbow Dragon builds. I don't think they work very good, and so this is more focused on control. Now, I'll kind of get to that in a little bit. I also play 1 copy of Scrap Beast. He's our only tuner in the deck. Works great with some of the combos in the deck that I'll get to shortly. And then from there, for other monsters, we have 2 Summoner Monk, 2 copies of Malefic Cyber End Dragon, and then we have 2 Maxx's and 2 effect Veilers to kind of round up the end of our monster count. Mostly the Veilers and the Maxx's are in here just because of the speed in which a lot of the decks in the format have. Typically I would not build a deck so much to counter the current meta, but so many decks move so fast and special summon such an amount that I think Maxx is kind of essential, and stopping their big momentums when you need to with effect failures is kind of also very essential to the deck, especially because we don't really play trap cards in here, which I'll get to also pretty soon. Okay, so for spells and traps, we are playing 3 copies of our Ancient City Rainbow Rune. Like I was saying earlier, my version of Crystal Beast kind of focuses more on control, and we do that by controlling the field and everything with our Ancient City Rainbow Runes. This is kind of the card which is ultimately our win condition, or allows us to get to our win condition. It's just constantly controlling everything. Alright, so for that we also need 3 copies of Terraforming. We're also playing 3 copies of Crystal Beacon. The way this card works, as long as you have 2 Crystal Beast monsters in your spell or trap card zone, you can play this and then special summon any Crystal Beast monster from your deck to the field. We're normally going to want to bring out Pegasus with this, because this will give us another Crystal Beast monster in our spell or trap card zone, thus fueling our Ancient City Rainbow Ruins. Alright, we also have 3 copies of Rare Value. This is our draw card of the deck. And 2 copies of Crystal Blessing. This is to kind of get the monsters, or the Crystal Beast monsters that we've either used for effects or exceed materials or something like that, out of the graveyard back into our spell and trap card zone. Now, we're not playing Heavy Storm or anything like that, and to make sure that our attacks and whatnot can go through and that our exceed monsters won't be stopped, we are playing 3 copies of MST. Playing 2 copies of Pot of Duality. This works pretty good because you can play Pot of Duality, get to your Pegasus, and then normal summon your Pegasus, and get your search off. We're playing 1 Pot of Avarice for recyclability, and then Monster Reborn and Dark Hole. That's going to round up our spells, and then for our 1 trap, we are playing Treacherous Trap Hole. Alright, moving on to the extra deck. For the Exceed portion of it, we have Abyss Dweller, Maestroke, Gagaga Cowboy, Daigusto Emeral, Diamond Dire Wolf, number 50 Blackship Acorn, number 91 Thunder Spark Dragon, Vylon Disigma, number 16 Shockmaster. For the rank 3s, we only have Wind-Up Zenmaines and number 17 Leviathan Dragon. For the Synchro aspect, we are playing Stardust Dragon and Scrap Dragon. And then for the Fusion aspect, we have our 2 Cyber End Dragons to go along with our Malefic Cyber Ends. Alright, so this deck really works best when you get to late game, mid to late game really. Once you start getting some kind of a setup going and have your field spell active with some Crystal Beast monsters in the back row, a lot of your cards become a lot better. You might be able to play a card like Crystal Beacon at this point, bringing out your a Ruby Carbuncle from the deck. Since Ruby Carbuncle was special summoned, you're then allowed to special summon out all the rest of your Crystal Beast monsters from your back row. Now, if you had any Pegasus there, Pegasus effect will then trigger, and then you're allowed to bring another Crystal Beast monster from your deck to your back row, thus thinning it out even more. From here, you can go ahead and exceed on up to really whatever exceed monsters you need or you feel like you gotta have at the moment, and then whatever is gonna help your situation. Alright, so for one of my more favorite combos, you need to have Ancient City Rainbow Room is already active with at least 1 Crystal Beast monster in your spell or trap card zone. What you would then do is go ahead and bring out your Summoner Monk. Use his effect by ditching any kind of spell card that you do not need. You would then bring out your Scrap Beast and then Synchro on up, thus bringing out Scrap Dragon. From there, you can go ahead and get rid of your Cyber End Dragon from your extra deck to bring out your Malefic Cyber End Dragon. Now, what happens here is you can use Scrap Dragon's effect to target your Ancient City Rainbow Rune, and then whatever card is over on your opponent's side of the field that's giving you grief, let's say it's a monster for example, when Scrap Dragon's effect resolves, Ancient City Rainbow Rune cannot be destroyed because of its effect since it has a Crystal Beast monster in the back row, but you still get to destroy their card. Then from there, hopefully their field is cleared well enough to where you can then attack with your 4K beater. If you didn't have a Malefic Cyber End, then you can of course just attack with Scrap Dragon. 2800 is nothing to scoff at, and is still a decent attack amount. So getting the lock going with targeting your field spell Scrap Dragon I think is pretty cool, pretty essential to doing the deck. Alright YouTube, and there you have it. This was my most recent Crystal Beast build. I know a lot of you guys are going to notice that I'm not using Crystal Abundance. It's not really a card that I prefer to use in my version of the deck. I know a lot of people think that that's really Crystal Beast's ultimate win condition, besides maybe Rainbow Dragon. But I think the card kind of works counterproductive to what I'm trying to do. I think the way I like to play Crystal Beast and the way I use the deck is I really like to control the game using the field spell card. And I feel like Crystal Abundance works against that. And for that reason, I don't personally like to use it in my builds. I understand if you feel differently and you like to use it in yours, but it's just something that I don't really care for. So in the comment section down below, remember to let me know what you think of my most current build of Crystal Beast. If you have any ideas on how you think I can improve the deck to optimize it to a better version of the way I want to play it, please let me know as well. And I guess that's about it for now. This is GalacticGod, out.